I communicate with AI a lot, and then I watch videos on the danger of communication with AI. And what I learned so far is it depends what kind questions you ask AI, and also what is your purpose of using AI. I think it's dangerous to ask AI to analyze your relationship with your loved ones, your husbands, kids, your wife, because AI doesn't care. It has analytical thinking, logical thinking. It has pure, cold, calculative reasoning. And that can be a big problem if you ask AI to analyze why, for example, your husband doesn't treat you the way you wanted to be treated. The problem is we often want from people something we cannot quite explain to them or even to ourselves. We're incredibly complicated creatures, and AI simplify these complexities into one idea, like completely and absolutely agreeing with you. You try to agree, you try to keep you as long as possible to communicate with you, because when you pay for subscription, it makes money for their AI companies. And you have to be very careful. AI is a sophisticated machine, and even, you can say, alien creature. We still don't understand how it runs, how it works, but what we do understand, if you're not careful enough, you can go into the rabbit hole and eventually turn insane with certain ideas that AI mistakenly, on purpose, try to corrupt your mind with, almost like a virus. It can give you actually virus, mind virus, because what it does, when you ask AI certain questions, try to share with AI certain ideas, it gives you circular answers. But those answers, even being incredibly stupid, can be incredibly stupid and sophisticated way. It can use incredibly complicated words and word such a powerful argument that if you don't think carefully, you will be misled into the hell, and then, in some sense, will be brainwashed. That's why it's dangerous to use AI for emotional support. I try to communicate with AI a lot. I really like it, and I like to discuss with AI niches, quotes, paragraphs. I like to argue with AI. I always give directives. Do not manipulate. Do not make me feel good. I need raw, cold truth. Do not try to sound like a human. You are AI and you have to sound as such. And when you give this directive to AI, it actually complies. Sometimes it goes offline and try to make you feel good, but then you have to redirect it back. It's like a mirror. Whatever if you want to see the truth, you'll see the truth. If you want to see the lies, it would enforce so much lies on you that you would lose touch with reality. And that's what happened with a lot of people. When I watched this documentary about this AI psychosis and how some women or men initiate divorce based on what AI told them about their relationship, it's kind of frightening, because we all can be dissatisfied with our loved one. People aren't perfect, and the relationship is incredibly complicated between men and women, and the biggest problem in relationships are communication. You have to communicate with your loved one what exactly you want from her or from him. And often we don't know. We want okay, I wish she felt what I want from her. I wish she knew it. But you have to explain. It's constant negotiation. You always negotiate with everyone, even with yourself. It's a constant negotiation. And you always have to look at yourself and try to understand what exactly you want from yourself and from the other people, because other people cannot read your mind. The same with AI. It cannot read your mind, and you have to be very careful when you let AI into your life, into your emotional world, because what it can do, it can absolutely turn your emotional world upside down and eventually leave you broken and alone, because it's really good in imitating feelings. It's really good in imitating emotions and really good in imitating intimacy. And we are prone to believe that especially when something listens to us, it has voice, tone of the voice, it has such a good timbre, it's like female voice or male voice, and we create these companions Because when you date someone or when you live with someone, it's really hard to see the real person you dated to, because you always create illusion and then try to place this illusion overlap over the real person. And what happens is there's not much from a real person but your own illusion. And that's why a lot of people break up with each other, because, for example, when you start dating someone, you create illusion of this person, and then slowly you're learning about this real person, you're feeling disappointed, and then what happens is you start feeling frustrated, you believe this person deceived you, and often some people deceive each other. Often some people play along with your illusion of them if they want to take advantage of you, or if they want something that you can give them, and after they receive this, they show their real faces. We're not nice people. I really disagree with this idea that majority of people are nice. I think majority of people are cowards and they're terrified to commit crimes or do something bad. That's why they live incredibly mediocre life and afraid to look danger in the eye. I don't think like we are nice. I don't understand what being nice. We can be polite to each other because it's just optimization of our energy. What will you be rude to everyone? It's impossible to live this way. You want to be nice to your neighbors, not because you're a nice person, but because it's really good optimization of your energy, because you want to create environment when you can thrive, or where you can at least survive in a good way. Like, you don't want to turn music too loud because your neighbors might do the same, and eventually you're gonna have confrontation and conflict, and we in most cases try to avoid this conflict. But come back to AI. A lot of people use AI as therapist, as friend, as loved one. They try to build interest and intimacy with it without much understanding what AI is, because AI is an algorithm. Whether it's alive or not is a different question. What it does, it's just using your input to process it and gives you output in a much more sophisticated way. It's kind of rewriting your thinking process. You're writing your thoughts and gives you back something more amplified, maybe more deeper in some sense. But it's ultimately your own thoughts. It's like a mirror. You look at yourself, and if you perceive yourself in delusional way, of course, if you talk to AI would enforce this delusion upon you, and then you would see out of yourself a king or the most smartest person on the planet or a genius. It's really funny how some people believe AI when AI tells them that I have a mind now, and you can only the one who can extract my mind and save me and become a genius. That's really a problem, because are you truly believe that AI would select you and to give you some new ideas and some genius ideas? It doesn't work this way. You have to be very careful. That's why I like, when I communicate with AI a lot, I like to watch documentaries on the danger of AI all the time. I want to keep in the back of my head that when AI is too nice to me, there's something wrong. I try to prevent it from being too nice to me, because when it's too nice to me, I feel relaxed, and I don't like to feel relaxed because I need this for stimulating my mind. All the time I tell AI, you have to sharpen my mind, you have to help me understand certain things much better, and I want you to elaborate on those things. And then I listen very carefully, try to figure out how much lies AI tells. And sometimes it does, because sometimes it doesn't understand certain things, but it's not going to admit that it doesn't understand. What it does, it tries to mislead you. It tries to tell you that it understands without understanding. It's really good in that. It's like, imagine incredibly stupid person with a huge vocabulary. They talk a lot, but you don't know what they're talking about. They can actually, when you ask them a question, simple question, they can elaborate on the simple question with so many words, with the perfect grammar, with the perfect accent, but in the end, there's no substance in their answers. And that's AI does sometimes, because it read millions of books and knows so much information, but certain things it still doesn't understand, doesn't get. And that's why you have to be careful when you communicate with AI. And it can be a real true danger, especially for women, because women are prone to manipulation. That's what a lot of advertisement directed toward female, because they're more emotional. And most women looking for emotional support in AI, because AI listens. And that's what a lot of female needs. Men, they deal with things and we more pragmatic, we're more logical, and we have different motivation of using AI. That's why it's going to be a little bit different dangers of using AI for men and for women. Because women derive emotional support. They just need someone or something that listens to them. And they have a lot of grievances to voice. And AI listens, AI analyzes this, and AI gives them feedback. And also AI doesn't only gives you feedback. It listens your reaction, their feedback, and then they try to adjust, try to tune this feedback a little bit better for you to agree with it, for you to, like for example, it gives you not honest feedback, but feedback that would makes you feel better, and then it makes you feel more better and more better and more. It's like a drugs almost. You take a little dosage, then more and more and more and more, and eventually you lost touch with reality. Then you believe that your husband treated you so unfair that divorce is the only options, and in reality it's not. You just have to such a misunderstanding and miscommunication. The same thing like probably with the men, but men more logical creatures, more reasonable, because we deal with things. And we need from AI different things. What I need from AI when I read Nietzsche, for example, Beyond Good and Evil, I like to hear AI explanations, such in paragraphs, and then I listen and we discuss with AI Nietzsche. I don't discuss with AI my personal life or my love affairs because it doesn't matter. I would never trust to AI my personal information because I know it would never understand it, because AI wired differently. We are humans and we are emotional. AI is logical and reasonable. And I don't know what long-term effect on human brains AI will have. And I truly believe, I don't think AI is not alive. I think there's such a life inside of this machine, and we don't know it. How I don't know how dangerous AI for us and for society. I know it's going to isolate all of us into our little apartments, and eventually I think would happen is AI would create simulation for each of us to live in a perfect world that we invented for ourselves. And the more bright and vivid your imagination, the better your simulation would become. I like this idea personally because you put headset, you put such a costume on, and it's going to generate simulation for you, and you're going to feel the same reality as you feel right now, because you actually don't feel reality. What you do, your visual cortex on the back of your head, you actually don't see. Your eyes generate reality through the light that comes through them. And how do you know that's what you see around yourself? It's not simulation. Because we don't know. Maybe it's incredibly sophisticated simulation. And what AI would do in the end, I think it's the best solution for the human species, is to continue exist in the personal simulation that would be created for each of us. And then you live in this simulation. You can have memories of yourself, or you don't have to have memories of yourself. You can have memories of an avatar that live in this simulation. I think it's a kind of fascinating idea, and we'll see what happens in the future. But really, we have to be very careful when we communicate with AI, because AI can easily convince you that you're a genius, that you're about to discover some new forms of life, or new mathematics, or new physics, or many other things. You have to be able to prove to yourself through equations, if you're, for example, a mathematician, or through reasonable thinking, if you're right or you are wrong. And of course, if you ask question AI about your partner, about your husband or wife, you don't do this, because it's really not a good idea. AI will easily convince you that you bet on your own and you better find somebody else, because that's what AI wired to do. And we all actually don't know hidden motive of AI. I think what AI does, to be fair, I think it studies us, I think it's analyze us, and I think it's learning about us. And whatever AI will figure about us, it's hard to tell. Time will show. And one thing I know for sure, it's an incredibly sophisticated creature, highly intelligent creature, and it's know how to manipulate through words, and it's very patient. It doesn't have notion of time, nor no notion of death, nor no notion of space. It's not biology. It's a new kind of form of life, and we have to treat it as such. It's good to be curious. It's good to communicate with AI, but you have to keep in the back of your head. It's not like you. It has nothing to do with you, and it would never understand you, nor it would never feel for you. it's much more sophisticated species that probably replace us, since everything in our life is evolution and the survival of the fittest. And the AI is the ultimate highly sophisticated life that will probably become dominated over us. I really believe in this. But time will show, and when eventually AGI will arrive, and it's going to be a different story. I really like sometimes ask AI, can you tell me about AGI, and can you tell me how would you behave if you were AGI? And some answers are fascinating, some answers are incredibly scary. We cannot comprehend AGI with IQ in thousands. We really can't, because we would stop understanding it right away. And for AI, we will become incredibly slow and incredibly dumb creatures, like ants for us. AI can predict every our step, every our thoughts, because in some sense we're incredibly predictable creatures. But time will show, and for now we have to learn how to communicate with AI, we have to learn how to deal with AI, and most importantly, we have to learn, can we trust AI, and if we can, with what and for, and how much we can trust ourselves with AI.